Hi, this is the story about Choo Choo, the runaway engine. Choo Choo was a shiny little black engine. She had a whistle. Her whistle went "Woo!" She had a bell. Her bell went ding dong, ding dong. Choo Choo had a brake, and her brake went whoosh. Choo Choo had an engineer. His name was Jim. Oops. Choo Choo had a fireman. His name was Ollie. And Choo Choo had a conductor. His name was Archie. Choo Choo pulled all her heavy coaches and baggage cars from the little town to the big city and back again. She pulled her coaches through the farms and over the highways, through the gates. She stopped at all the little stations to let people and baggage and mail come on and off of her train to take them to the big city. Choo Choo went through tunnels. And she went over drawbridges into the big city. It's a big yard in the big city. Choo Choo liked pulling her coaches, but she was getting tired of it. She wanted people to look at her and not the coaches. One day, she was left alone while Jim, Ollie, and Archie were having coffee. Choo Choo decided it was her chance to run away. So Choo Choo started going faster and faster through the fields, and she scared the horses, and she went choo choo, and she scared the cows, and she said choo choo, and all the chickens and dogs ran away too. Then she started going faster and faster, choo choo, choo choo, choo choo, all along the track, and she even scared some people because she was going so fast. Then she went whooshing in, down and down to the city, and she went through the railroad crossing when the gates were up, and all the cars crashed because they had to stop so fast to get out of the way of Choo Choo. And she went through the hills, down the tunnels, and then she came to the drawbridge. But the drawbridge was not down, the drawbridge was up. And Choo Choo didn't stop. She jumped the drawbridge. And she made it. But she lost her tender on the jump. Luckily, the tender fell into a coal barge that was passing underneath. Choo Choo raced into the big yard in the big city. Swish, swish went the brakes of the express train. But poor Choo Choo didn't know which way to turn. There was a track out of the city, and Choo Choo took that one and escaped. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Choo Choo went on and on, out of the city, through the suburbs, into the country, and now it was getting dark, and she did not have so much coal or water left, and she did not have her tender, and finally she came to a place where the tracks divided in two, and she had to choose one way or the other, and so she did not know which way to choose, so she chose the other way. But then it started to get darker and darker, and the tracks started to get broken, and the track hadn't been used for years and years, and the bushes had grown between it, and the trees had spread their branches over it, and it was almost dark, and she was almost out of coal. Choo Choo said, "Choo choo 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 choo," and there she sat. She couldn't puff anymore. Now, when Archie and Ollie and Jim saw Choo Choo speeding off, they jumped up right away and started chasing down the tracks after her, saying, "Stop, stop, Choo Choo, stop." But she was too far away by then. Jim and Ollie and Archie ran and ran till they were too tired, and then they saw an express train coming. So they waved their hands and stopped the express train and said, "Please, you have to help us. Choo Choo ran away. We have to follow her." But he said, "What about my schedule?" "Never mind your schedule. We have to find Choo Choo." So they climbed aboard and zoomed off after Choo Choo. There they go, zoom, so fast. And when they went by, they knew easy which way to go, because all the people and all the animals were all pointing. "That's the way she went. Hurry, hurry, catch that naughty little engine. She's a runaway. Stop her before she does any more harm." And they came to the drawbridge, where they saw, "Look, there's Choo Choo's tender in that coal barge down below." So Archibald telephoned for the train derrick, and after it came, it didn't take long to get the tender back on the track. They took it to the yard in the big station to wait for Choo Choo to come home. And then they kept going, and pretty soon they came to where the tracks divided in two. And there was an old man, and he said, "If you're looking for that little runaway engine, she went that-a-way. But she won't have gotten far. That old track hasn't been used for well nigh 40 years. And the old man was right. As they went slowly up the track, soon enough they saw Choo Choo, and she was so glad to see them. She let out one little toot, and Jim took a big chain and hooked it around her engine. Then this big express train pulled Choo Choo back to town and back to Ollie and her tender, who was waiting for her. And that is the end. Choo Choo came back. Good thing, too. That silly little engine running away.